What's up guys, my name is TechNumber here for Troubleshoot, and today I've got an incredibly basic video for you, but it's something that I get a ton of questions about. In a lot of my videos, I go through port forwarding, opening ports, etc, mostly in NAT opening videos or server hosting videos, where I go ahead and show this example router over here that I created on my own website. It does literally nothing. I could in fact type letters in here, click add new, and it would pop up and say that it works. But basically, I get a ton of people asking me how do they get here so that they can port forward on their own router. Well, first of all, you wouldn't do it here. I've called it a basic router because it should be simple enough to demonstrate what to do on your own router. How exactly do you log into your own router? Well, without going too deep into it, if you're connected from your PC or your device to one router and then to the internet or via another box into the internet, then it's rather simple to go ahead and port forward. However, if there's multiple routers in a chain, i.e. you connect to a wireless router that connects to a cable router, connects to another one, and then to the internet, then things are a little bit different. And I'll go through that later on in this video, but this first part will be purely about a one router setup where it's your PC or your device, a router, and then the internet. How exactly do you go ahead and do this? Well, it's pretty simple. The first thing you should do is open up your browser and try to go to a couple of common websites. The first thing I'll do is click at the very top and I'll type in 192.168.1.1 and I'll hit enter. Now this is in fact my router's address and it works pretty well. Another common one that I've seen quite often is 0.8.1, so 192.168.8.1, enter, and it takes you to your router's page, assuming that it's on this address. However, of course, sometimes you'll be left with it just spinning and it doesn't go anywhere, meaning that your router isn't on that address. Either way, if you haven't found the router's login page, for which you can find the login details usually on the router or in the manual itself, or if you set them yourself in the past, simply enter those details. If you don't land up on a login page or a page that lets you change your router settings, then there's a couple of other things we can do. For each device, this is slightly different, but this is how you do this on Windows. Basically, I'll be finding the address that I need to go to access my router's settings from my Windows PC. I'll hold down Start and press R. Then I'll type in CMD and hit Enter. Then inside of this window, I'll type in ipconfig, one word, and I'll hit Enter. Then I'll look for the way that I'm connected to the internet, and that for me is Ethernet over here, which is a cable connecting me to my router that's next to my PC. As you can see over here, default gateway is 192.168.1.1. This of course could be different for you. What you'll do is you'll select this and then right-click to copy it. Or you can simply make a note of what number is here and enter this into your browser. When you navigate to that address, hopefully you'll end up on your router's login page. Those are the two most basic ways that you can get to the router's login settings page, but we can check in a variety of different ways. In order to get this default gateway from a different place that doesn't involve typing and possibly a confusing interface like this one over here, we can press Start and type in Settings, or simply press Start and click the Settings icon. Then, once the Settings window is open, we can head across to Network and Internet, then view your network properties, and we'll find the way that we're connected to the internet. For me, it's all the way at the bottom over here, and we'll look for Default Gateway once again, and it's still 192.168.1.1, though this may be a little bit different for you. And of course, navigating to that page in a browser will work for you. Then, after a simple Google search of how to get to your router's page, here is how you do it on a Mac. You check it inside of the network utility, clicking the Apple logo, System Preferences, Network, Advanced, TCP/IP tab, and you'll find the router's address down here. To check on an Android device, you can either use an app or follow a tutorial. I simply Googled for Android Find Default Gateway. Over here they suggest opening your settings, heading across to the connections, and then wireless settings, holding your finger on the actual network or clicking on it and finding more details as such, where you'll find IP address or default gateway. This is the address that you'd head across to. So with that out of the way, if you go to that default gateway address, you'll be at your router's login page. Of course, if your router has information printed on it, maybe it'll even have that address printed there. So what exactly do you do if you have one computer connected to a router, connected to another router, and then to the internet, or any sequence like that? Say you're connected from your PC to a wireless extender, then to another router, and etc. You'll need to port forward at every step along the way. What exactly do I mean? Well, we'll start the exact same way that we did in the beginning of the tutorial to find the router that we're connected to directly. Then we'll go ahead and port forward there using a different tutorial you might find somewhere else. I won't go into that there because it may be super in-depth. Depending on what router you have, I do have example videos that I'll also have linked down below on how to port forward. But basically, you'll go to the first router in the chain, the one that you're connected to directly from your device, and you'll port forward there, using any of the methods that I showed to you in the beginning of this video. Then what we'll need to do is go ahead and port forward each router to the previous one in the network. What exactly do I mean? Well, excuse my crude drawing, but I'll quickly go ahead and draw out an example here. Okay, well over here I have a super basic example that represents somewhat how I'm connected to the internet. As you saw earlier, my router's address was 192.168.1.1, and that's this one over here. That router is then connected to a second router as such, and it's connected to the internet over here. So after you've gone and port forwarded this router over here using this address to your computer, say your computer's address is 192.168.1.21, could be literally anything. Once you've port forwarded it to this as such, what you'll need to do is head across to the login page of the next router along in the chain. So you'd head across to 192.168.8.1, which is this router's default gateway, i.e. you just connect to this router over here and visit its settings directly. Then you'll port forward this address from router number 1 to router number 2's address. Note that router number 2's address is not the default gateway that you use to check what the settings were from your main computer at the bottom. The way that you can easily tell the difference is the second last number is usually different. For me, this subnet over here is 0.1. This one is 0.1 as well. So my computer is device number 21 on this network over here. This device over here is this network over here and this device number. So 192.168.1.1 is my router. 1.21 is my computer. This router over here is 192.168.8.1. However, the router that's connected to it is just another device along the chain as such. The way that I'll get port forwarding from my computer to the internet, I have to port forward it down along each step on the chain as such. So on router number 1 over here that I get to with 192.168.8.1 or whatever it is, we'll be port forwarding the exact same ports that we forwarded over here down to the next router in the chain. Usually you'll get this address over here of the second router in the chain from the actual router's page itself, though sometimes you'll find a devices section on the first router in the chain and you'll be able to see what's connected to what. Then of course you'll need to follow that all the way down. So say that we check router number 1 and we find that router number 2's address is 192.168.8.33. We'll go ahead and port forward the same ports that we port forwarded here from router number 1 to router number 2. So as a quick example, we're going to port forward Minecraft. So that was 255.65. What we've done is we've port forwarded 255.65 from router number 2 down to my computer as such. Then what we'll do is we'll port forward the exact same port over here from router number 1 to router number 2. That way, when someone from the internet tries to connect to this port over here, they'll go from router number 1 to router number 2 to my computer. That is port forwarding in a nutshell, and that is why it's a little bit more confusing for some people when they have multiple routers in a chain. This is usually what gets people confused. Hopefully I've been able to simplify it enough here to get you to understand it. Then the question comes, what address do I give people to connect to my server? Well, of course you don't give them your computer's address because that's only valid in this little box over here. You don't give them router number 2's address because that's only valid in this box over here. What you'll do is you'll give them your external address, which you can usually get from the last router in the chain right before it gets to the internet, or you can usually visit a site or simply Google what is my IP. That address over there will be your internet IP. That'll usually be something that doesn't start with 192.168, and that's usually a good way of telling it apart. However, of course, your local network may not start with 192.168 in the first place. Say that your internet address is this one over here, 123.456.789.11. If you want someone to connect to, say, a Minecraft server, they'd connect to this as such, 123.456.789.11:25565. That would be the Minecraft port, and of course you'll enter that however you do in whatever program you're port forwarding. This request will come to router number 1. Router number 1's already been told to port forward anything they get on this port to the next one on the chain. So it does exactly that, sends it to router number 2. Router number 2 is told to port forward, so it takes all the information and sends it down to your computer as such, and that completes the chain. So as long as you port forward properly on every step along the way, things will work great. And of course, if you're directly connected to the router that's connected to the internet, as such, your computer is connected directly to the router that's connected to the internet, then you can of course forget about the rest of this tutorial that I explained right now. You'll simply just port forward on this router straight to the computer and things will work well. Then of course, on top of that, this isn't exactly the point of this tutorial, but it is something important to keep in mind. Sometimes when port forwarding doesn't work, you'll need to make sure that a firewall is allowing that port through. Now, usually a firewall on a computer is easy to sort out. You'd press start, type in firewall, and you'll go ahead and allow that port through the firewall, meaning that it can access the internet without being blocked. Sometimes an antivirus has its own firewall built in, and you'll need to create an exception there. Though sometimes when you have multiple routers chained together, or you're in a network that probably isn't your home network, then each router may have its own little firewall box, keeping all information inside of it, and not allowing it further down the chain. Or it simply puts up a wall right before the internet, and it only allows certain addresses in and out. What exactly do you do then? Well, you need to go ahead and make sure that port 25565 or whatever port it is open on each router along the chain. So you've allowed it into router number 1 and you port forwarded it to router number 2. You allow it through router number 2's firewall and then port forward it to your computer where it's allowed through your firewall and the program works properly. Of course, if you connected directly to the internet, like this little chain at the top over here, then you'd simply make sure the firewall on your computer is open and this router over here allows it through its firewall as well and it's port forwarded straight to your computer. So a super simple explanation that hopefully helps some of you understand if you get stuck anywhere along the line. This is meant to be an add-on video to my previous video that I released a while back on port forwarding. That works specifically for only one router in this chain, preferably this setup over here, where it connects from your router to your computer. But of course, that tutorial works exactly the same for port forwarding a router to another router. If you'd like to see more information on how to port forward, then make sure to check out that video. One final note before I go is that even if you follow each step exactly, you make sure the firewall is open on all of the routers and they're all port forwarded to each other properly, or it's just one setup over here, firewall is open, and it's port forwarded properly, sometimes it still won't work. Now, this is something that I didn't really believe in until it happened to me. Basically, your ISP may not allow certain ports through, they may be blocking them for security reasons or something else, or they just don't allow certain communication types on them. Basically, if you've done everything correctly and you're sure that it works, then you can go ahead and contact your ISP and ask if they're doing any sort of blocking or restriction on you, or simply just ask them if you can port forward this address, and hopefully they'll be able to give you a simple yes or no answer. For me, I had a dynamic address, meaning that every time I restarted my router, this address over here from my internet provider changed. And when this wasn't static, meaning it stayed exactly the same after restarts, port forwarding didn't work at all. The port was actually blocked by them up until they made it static. Now, I didn't really believe in this for quite a while, but it happened to me. So now, of course, I do believe that ISPs could be easily blocking ports, and now that I think about it, it makes a lot of sense. But either way, that's about it. Hopefully this video helped you. My name's been TechNoba here for Troubleshoot, and I'll see you all next time. Ciao!